Hello and welcome to the program. This edition of Newsroom series covering Nigeria's Northeast. I am Bukola Koka. First, the top stories. Governors elected under the People's Democratic Party (PDP) are currently meeting in Jos, the Plateau State capital, to discuss pertinent issues of governance as they affect the party, also national issues, as well as a review of the just concluded elections in Edo and Ondo states where the party lost. Governors from Plateau, Zamfara, Taraba, Adamawa, Bauchi and Oyo states are present at the meeting, while Delta and Enugu states have their governors represented. Those absent from the meeting include Osun, Rivers, Akwa Ibom and Bayelsa states. In his remarks, the chairman of the forum and governor of Bauchi State, Mr. Bala Mohammed, restates the party's commitment to providing good governance to the people, as well as deliberating on issues of national importance.
As one, we have always called major stakeholders that have a say, which is an manifestation of our history and our unique experience as a party in terms of the governance responsibility that the party had in the past, which we are also very, very proud of. Today we are going to discuss so many issues, ranging from party issues, post-mortem of what happened in Edo and Ondo, and of course our party affairs, and of course other national issues. So I want to thank our governors for being very, very united, always there with the party, and want to assure Nigerians that this party is the most reliable party or platform that they can have, and they can take it from us that will continue to do our best to make sure that there is no distraction or any discouraging issue that will divide us.
Several opposition political parties in Rivers State are said to be contemplating adopting Governor Siminalayi Fubara as their consensus governorship candidate for the 2027 elections. The state chairman of the Action People's Party, Mr. Sani Wokekoro, says his party, which currently controls 22 of the 23 local government councils in the state, is determined to persuade Governor Fubara, a member of the PDP, to contest under its platform. According to him, while the APP intends to woo Governor Fubara, other political parties within the Inter-Party Advisory Council are considering a collaborative effort to adopt him as a consensus candidate. He lauded the governor's leadership qualities, citing his transparency and commitment to peace as key factors behind the administration he has garnered up across party lines. The Borno State government successfully hosted the 65th National Council of Health, organized by the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. Chaired by the minister, the meeting ended with far-reaching resolutions to achieve universal healthcare delivery by the year 2030.
Second National Council of Health meeting, organized by the current administration under the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. The first was held a year ago in Ekiti State, southwest Nigeria. The 2024 edition of the meeting is hosted by Borno State government in the northeast.
The coordinating minister that is coordinating us very well.
The National Council of Health is the highest decision-making body of the health sector in the country, and the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Adekunle Salako, sets the tone for the meeting with his opening remarks.
Universal health care coverage by 2030 for us is therefore not just a slogan or a catchphrase, but a commitment that is backed by a robust pathway to deliver on it in an inclusive, equitable, and evidence-driven manner. The recently released medium-term expenditure framework and physical strategic paper has, as part of its key objective, to improve healthcare preparedness and revitalize the Nigerian health system. This strategic direction, among other pronouncements and actions of the federal government, clearly demonstrates that the federal government of Nigeria, under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is determined to walk the talk. with respect to universal health coverage and general improvement of the health status of Nigeria.
This lays the foundation for the speech by the Coordinating Minister of the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Ali Pate, who highlights the successes recorded so far in the sector.
A year ago, we started laying out plans and we made decisions in Ekiti. You can say the first year was the year of planning, of preparation. Now we have entered the year, exactly 1 year, of what I will say execution after diligent preparation over the last 1 year. And we have a lot to show for it. And many of you have been part of this effort right from the outset, right from before Ekiti, all through till today. And we have very tangible things that we can say we collectively achieved in collaboration between the federal government, all the state governments, our local governments, our partners, private sector, civil society. The power of collective effort in advancing health of a population cannot be overemphasized.
The host's governor, Professor Babagana Zulum, uses the opportunity to announce the increment of doctors' salary to be at par with the federal government and efforts being made by his administration to improve healthcare delivery across the state.
I'm proud to share that Borno State has taken significant steps towards meeting this commitment. In our recent budget, we have prioritized health infrastructure, increased access to maternal and child health care services, and allocated resources for critical disease control programs. These efforts are part of our broader vision to make healthcare accessible to every resident in Borno State, especially those in hard-to-reach and conflict-affected areas.
1,150 participants attended this year's meeting, with various partners and donors making presentations that they believe will culminate into far-reaching decisions.
The Gombe State Internal Revenue Service says it plans to surpass its all-time record of 15 billion naira internally generated revenue in 2023 to 22 billion naira in 2024, using high-end, user-friendly technology and building the capacity of its staff. The chairperson of the service, Mrs. Aisha Adamu Mohammed, highlights how the scale and magnitude of projects executed by the Inuwa Yahaya government are justifying revenue generation in the state and encouraging taxpayers to cooperate with the government. As the Inuwa Yahaya-led government primes the state for industrialization and investment opportunity, an economic expert weighing in on the matter says there is urgent need for stable power generation and fixing of worn-out federal roads that serve as conduits for movement of goods and services to solidify the enterprising nature of Gombe State.
At the bottom of the federal allocation table, Gombe State, under the leadership of Governor Inuwa Yahaya, is expanding its internally generated revenue base and creating less dependence on external allocations. Appointed as chairperson of the Gombe State Internal Revenue Service Board, Mrs. Aisha Adamu Mohammed explains how she is interpreting the economic plans of the governor, highlighting the people-friendly economic policies.
The IGR is used for policy formulation and planning. Also, it is used for basically financing government expenditures. So we will be right to say all the infrastructural development you've been seeing in Gombe is being financed by the sources of revenue accruing to the state, and IGR is one of the major components of such revenues. When you look at it, the executive governor has done a lot in terms of building an enabling environment for businesses to thrive in the state. When you look at the road network we have in the state, look at the electricity we have, the relative peace we've been enjoying in Gombe State, and also the industrial park, the Muhammad Buhari Industrial Park, which has very good road network, water and electricity already connected to it. So those are the part of the benefit we are reaping from an improved IGR, amongst other sources of revenue accruing to the state.
While opening the state up for industrialization with the construction of a 1,000-hectare multi-billion naira Dadinkowa Industrial Park, Governor Inuwa Yahaya reels out his administration scorecard of capital projects despite tight finances.
We have constructed over 800 kilometers of road networks and thereby facilitate connectivity and economic activity across the state. Additionally, we built over 1,600 classrooms to improve access to quality education for our young population. Our administration is also developing a 3-arm zone which will house the State Secretariat, the State House of Assembly, and the State High Court complexes. These projects reflect our commitment to building a robust infrastructure that supports governance, education, and economic growth for all citizens.
Weighing in on these ambitious plans, a professor of economics observes an urgent need for stable power supply and fixing of federal roads for things to move faster.
Our road network should be, fixed. Our roads should be, rehabilitated. If you are coming, let's say from Abuja, you have to come through Abuja, let's say just eventually to Bauchi. And from Bauchi to Jos, the road is in poor condition. If you are coming from Kano, you have to come through Duku to Gombe. From Darazo to Gombe, a distance of 120 kilometers. It is actually it is in poor condition. If you are coming from Maiduguri, let's say through the road, although the road is under reconstruction. And secondly, the issue of power. We know sometimes back, almost 80% of states in the northeast, they were in total power outage for a very long period of time. Now we are in most areas that are either in Bambisi, for about 3 days they don't have light.
As a 2-time PEBEX awardee for ease of doing business, the Gombe State government is confident of continuing its upward journey towards economic self-sufficiency.
And staying with Gombe, Governor Inuwa Yahaya has laid the foundation of an ultra-modern 3-arms zone complex in the state. The project, which will gulp 28 billion naira, will house the state's High Court complex, House of Assembly, and a fleet of government offices. The project is part of the governor's plan of strengthening critical institutions of the state, enhancing government efficiency, and augmenting decades of infrastructure deficit in Gombe.
This is the foundation laying ceremony of an ultra-modern 3-arm zone performed by the governor of Gombe State, Inuwa Yahaya. The 3-arm zone, decorated with local motifs and 21st century architectural polish, will be fitted with offices, conference rooms, electronic libraries, and other state-of-the-art facilities to foster greater synergy in the conduct of government business.
These institutions deserve befitting edifices that not only symbolize their dignity and importance, but also provide the conducive environment needed for their operations. By equipping them with world-class facilities, we reaffirm our belief in the sanctity of their functions and our commitment to strengthening the governance structures that underpin our democracy and social progress.
While promising to deliver a project that reflects the state's rich cultural heritage and modernity, those in charge of the project say they are not just building structures of concrete and steel, but strong institutions.
The High Court stands as a beacon of justice, fairness, and hope for our citizens. These institutions deserve facilities that reflect their importance and enable their optimal functionality. The new complex is designed to be a world-class facility equipped with modern amenities and promote efficiency and transparency. It will provide a conducive environment for lawmakers to discharge their duties and for the judiciary to administer justice without fear or favor.
Others describe the project as a legacy for posterity, which will scale up productivity among the state's workforce.
Your Excellency, we are very much grateful for this gesture.
On behalf of myself, the honorable members and the entire staff of Gombe State House of Assembly, I extend our deepest appreciation and gratitude for these visionary initiatives. This will no doubt encourage us to continue with the good working relationship that is existing for this while between the executive, judiciary, and the legislature.
The project is also seen as Governor Yahaya's mission to create a modern city and a one-stop shop for conducting government business.
It is going to generate revenue and it is going to ease work. And you know, Gombe rated as the first in ease of doing business last year and even this year. So at least by having this, we are going to have a synergy in almost all the agencies and the ministry.
As the 3-arm zone project takes off in earnest, officials of the Inuwa Yahaya-led government say the project is a watershed in the state's pursuit of efficiency, justice, and greater good for the greater majority.
And there's more from the Northeast. When we return, the governor of Taraba State, Abu Kefas, has been commended for working with the youth to prioritize their engagement in governance. We have that story and more coming your way after the break. Join us again. Welcome back. Governor Abu Kefas has been commended by Taraba youths and the political elite in the state for providing a platform of engagement for the youths, for expression in governance, and for transforming the political landscape in the state. At an event to appreciate the governor's strides in ensuring peace, making education free for basic and secondary school, as well as his developmental initiatives, the youth appealed to the residents of the state to give the governor more time to actualize his campaign promises and to improve their lot. Youths, politicians, and traditional rulers have converged on Wukari, headquarters of Wukari Local Council area of Taraba State, to deliberate on the journey thus far under the leadership of Governor Abu Kefas and the way to go. Among other gains of his administration, youths at this gathering say the governor has empowered them for leadership positions, set the pace for infrastructure revolution, created an atmosphere of peace, and ensured the welfare of workers is guaranteed.
This occasion to test the depthness of the sea, to test the depthness of the ocean, to see what the youth have to offer. Also inform the members of the high table that the youth are capable and able ready. We are ready to support the movement of Abu Kefas to any length. We are people of timber and caliber. We can fight from morning, afternoon, and night.
With the governor's decision of implementing 70,000 naira new minimum wage and the setting up of an advisory committee to ensure full implementation of local government autonomy as directed by the Supreme Court, politicians at the gathering affirm that he is second to none in upholding the rule of law.
Dr. Kefas has exhibited a high sense of responsibility by navigating the complexities of modern governance. His approach to governance, as a matter of fact, is a model and is second to none. Decision making. Dr. Abu Kefas exemplifies how tough decisions can be made and enforced within the confines of democratic principles. Consistency in upholding the rule of law. It is so clear and glaring that Dr. Abu Kefas has exemplified a very high level of strength as a means of protecting democratic institutions against corruption or autocratic influences.
Traditional rulers also lend their voice to this with regards to the important role that they play in their domains.
I speak as a traditional council, people representative of the traditional institution, because we represent the grassroots people. We actually feel his presence at the grassroots level. Most of the people that are at the grassroots level are farmers, and these people feel the impact of this government, I say kudos to His Excellency.
The youths are in agreement that the political empowerment of the younger generation is an investment that will yield results for the state in future. Staying with Taraba, the Ministry of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy has kicked off a nationwide consultation process towards the passing out of the National Digital Economy and E-Governance Bill into law. The sponsors of the bill, which is currently at the stakeholder engagement stage, believes that when passed into law, it will enhance the use of digital technology to support the growth and transformation of Nigeria's economy through the application of technology in the digital ecosystem.
The Ministry of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy is holding this stakeholders engagement in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, to deliberate on the impact of the digital economy and e-governance bill before the National Assembly. The bill, which is jointly sponsored by the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy and the World Bank, is among other things seeking to accelerate progress in the technological landscape of the country, create legal framework and recognition for digital document admissibility.
This law comes in to provide a legal framework. It comes in to provide a legal laws and regulation that regulates how we interact in the digital space. This law also comes in to ensure that the underserved areas are also well protected.
The stakeholders during the meeting observed some loopholes in the bill.
In consumer protection rights in Section 7, the bill needs to capture the penalties or sanctions that are supposed to be in place for people that are using that kind of technology to infringe or to trespass people's data.
We suggest that this bill should simply state that admission of digital evidence should be in accordance with the Evidence Act, but not to provide another law that will compete with the Evidence Act.
The representatives of the Taraba state government insist the bill has the potential to unlock Nigeria's digital economy, create new opportunities for economic growth, and improve the lives of citizens. They also talk about the state's stance on e-governance.
This is one bill that has traveled all around the Federation, and the very essence is to see that there is input from all the stakeholders across the Federation, so that by the time it is being passed into law, it becomes something that is valuable, something that the entire Federation will be able to work with it.
By the time that this law has already passed, has become a law, this will become a law. Taraba state government will definitely become a first state. I'm assuring you this because presently, Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, they have the policy. And then this policy we are going around the state. But it's only Taraba state now that are about to domesticate this policy.
The bill, if passed into law, is expected to serve as a guide to ensure seamless engagement using digital platforms.
The governor of Yobe State, May Malabuni, has launched the distribution of food items provided by the Qatar Charity Foundation to 238 orphans in the state. Flagging off the distribution of the items in Damaturu, Governor Buni, who was represented at the event by the Permanent Secretary, Admin, Office of the Secretary to the Government, Abdul Karim Umar Sulaiman, commends the Qatari Charity Foundation for the support, saying it comes at a critical time. He explains that the intervention will complement the efforts of the state government in providing the livelihood support for vulnerable groups. Persons with special needs in Yobe State have sought the integration of their members into public healthcare systems, as well as asked the government to establish the State Commission for Persons with Special Needs. The Senior Special Assistant to President Bola Tinubu on Persons with Needs, Mohammed Abba Isa, disclosed this at an advocacy and sensitization program with the Yobe State government officials on the need for promoting inclusiveness.
Over the years, people living with disabilities face difficulties getting access to adequate health services with non-availability of hospitals and personnel who specialize in their cases. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Persons with Special Needs, Mohamed Abaisa, is trying to ensure they get over this hurdle as he seeks the buy-in of the Yobe State Ministry of Health and Human Services, as well as Yobe State House of Assembly, to integrate persons with special needs into the public health system. He also visits the office of the Secretary to Yobe State Government, Baba Malamwali, and the Emir of Damaturu, Shehu Ashimi, the second to develop an actionable strategy suggesting an assent to the disability bill passed by the Yobe State House of Assembly 4 years ago as a first step.
If you look at persons with disability, they have laid behind in that aspect. That is the essence. Mr. President gave me a mandate in order to make sure that their policy, plan, and program is in line with the Renew Hope agenda. But the state government, they give us assurance that they are going to assent that bill. Why? Because lack of signing this bill, it caused a kind of so many rules that person with disability they have lost from the national. Why? Because there must be a kind of vertical and horizontal alignment in the government policy. In the state that they don't demonstrate the national disability bill, you cannot compare it to the state that they have been. Why? Because some of the resources or some of the channel they will be coming to that state.
Wheelchair and your pregnant, how will you feel? So I almost shed tears, honestly. That's why I'm appealing all the governments should take special consideration about women with disabilities.
Going forward, the Yobe State government officials pledged to strengthen partnerships with all relevant ministries and agencies to ensure the plight of the persons with special needs are attended to.
Yobe, under the leadership of His Excellency Honorable Malabuni, has been doing a lot, especially in respect to addressing the people and persons of disabilities here in Yobe State. All opportunities that are being provided, especially in terms of support and health, other services, and education, were also being provided by His Excellency to people with disability here in Yobe State. His Excellency is very curious in order to address the problem of people or persons with disability here in the state.
We believe that every individual deserves equal access to resources, service, and opportunity tribes. In Yobe State, we have made significant strides in promoting the welfare and well-being of our citizens. Our legislative agenda prioritizes education, healthcare, economic empowerment, and infrastructural development. We are committed to creating an enabling environment for and the support for the growth and development of all our citizens, regardless of their background or abilities.
The annual observance of the International Day of Persons with Disabilities will be held on December the 3rd, 2024, and the theme for this year is amplifying the leadership of persons with disabilities for an inclusive, a future physically challenged persons in Yobe State. Hope will be unlocked through the assent of the bill already passed by state lawmakers.
And that's it on the program for today, and indeed for the entire week. We'll be back next week for a series of programs coming through from different regions of the country. I am Bukola Koka. Bye for now.